Stop! They told you intelligence was a gift, that being smart would make life easier, that understanding things faster would give you an advantage. They were only half right, because intelligence is a gift. But gifts always come with a cost. The cost of seeing more is feeling more. The cost of thinking deeper is never being able to switch your mind off. And the cost of being smarter than most people in the room is never being able to relax in that room. If you're highly intelligent, you don't have social anxiety because something is wrong with you. You have it because something is different about you. And the world doesn't know what to do with that. Let me tell you something no one else will. Your social anxiety isn't irrational. It's hyper-rational. Your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do. Analyze, predict, protect. The problem isn't fear. The problem is that your mind works faster than social reality. While someone else walks into a room thinking, "Seems fine," your brain runs 10 scenarios at once. Who should I talk to? What if I say the wrong thing? Why did they look at me like that? Am I talking too much? Too little? Should I stay? Should I leave? All of that in seconds. You're not overthinking. You're thinking at the speed your brain operates. And that speed was never meant for casual conversation. Here's what's actually happening. Average minds process 1 or 2 possible outcomes. Highly intelligent minds process 10, sometimes 15, simultaneously. So when someone says, "We should hang out sometime," most people hear politeness. You hear, "Do they mean it? When should I reply? If I reply now, will I seem needy? If I wait, will I seem uninterested? Why did they say sometime instead of a date?" You're not paranoid. You're seeing the complexity that's actually there. But by the time you've analyzed it all, the moment to respond naturally has already passed. So you either freeze or you force spontaneity. And neither one feels like you. Now here's where it gets darker. Intelligence and perfectionism aren't separate. They're fused. Because when you're smart, you don't just see how things are, you see how they should be. The perfect response, the optimal interaction, the best possible version of yourself in that moment. So you don't just want to connect, you want to connect perfectly. But social interaction isn't logical, it's chaotic. You can't script it, you can't optimize it. So your brain tries anyway. You rehearse, you plan, you calculate. And when reality doesn't match your internal simulation, you short-circuit. Not because you failed, but because perfection was never possible. Let's go back. You were a kid. You asked too many questions. You explained things in too much detail. You cared about ideas no one else cared about. And someone said, "You're too intense. Why do you make everything so complicated? Just be normal." That moment didn't break you loudly. It broke you quietly. You learned something dangerous. Who I am is too much. So you adapted. You simplified yourself. You toned it down. You translated your thoughts into something others could digest. And it worked. People liked you more, but you liked yourself less. And now every social interaction feels exhausting. Not because you don't know how to connect, but because you've been trained to hide while doing it. So here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your social anxiety isn't a flaw. It's an adaptation. An adaptation to a world that moves slower than you think, that values comfort over depth, that rewards simplicity and punishes intensity. You're not anxious because you're weak. You're anxious because you're aware. Aware of tone, aware of silence, aware of subtext.
and that awareness has a cost. But here's the part you need to hear. Most people aren't judging you. They're barely managing themselves. The pressure you feel isn't coming from the room. It's coming from years of believing you needed to be less in order to belong. So listen carefully. Your intelligence isn't the problem. Your history is. You don't need to become louder or funnier or easier to digest. You need to stop treating depth as danger, because the right people don't need you to translate. They don't flinch when you go quiet. They don't get uncomfortable when you go deep. They're rare, but they exist. And the moment you stop shrinking yourself to fit the room is the moment they can finally see you.
Wake up, dude. Move on. If this made you uncomfortable, good. You're exactly where you need to be. Subscribe. We're just getting started.